Sagittarius. The month starts out pretty quiet for you. With a focus on your 12th house of resting and recharging, it's all about resting and recharging and getting ready for your season that begins on the 21st. Then come the 21st, you guys are going to be lit. Your first house of self is going to light up and it's going to be all about you. This month, there's some work that you have to do, but don't be alarmed. It's not something that you have to actively do. It's a lot of internal work that's really going to set you up for a great month. If you want to know more, keep watching and I'll explain all about it. What's up, Sagittarius? It's your girl Mel of Divine Feminine Works, and as always, I hope that this video finds you well and in excellent spirits. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. This channel is everything tarot, astrology, spirituality, and manifestation. So if those are the things you're interested in, if those are the things you love, if those are the things you want to learn more about, don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well as that notification bell, so you'll always be notified when I come out with new content. And for even more content, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Divine Feminine Works. Every day I've got tarot, astrology, manifestation, spirituality content on overdrive. So head over there and follow me. All right. First and foremost, Sagittarius, happy birthday to all of those November Sagittarius. Happy birthday. I hope that this new revolution around the sun brings you everything that your heart desires. I wish you abundance, great health, wealth, joy, blessings. Everything wonderful that life has to offer is what I wish for you for this new season. All right. And speaking of season, come Sagittarius season on the 21st. All Sag babies will receive 20% off of solar return chart reports. If you're not familiar with what a solar return chart is, it's basically a chart that runs from birthday to birthday and basically gives you an overview of the year ahead. So it tells you everything to expect, what's going to happen, what you can prepare for, what you can take advantage of. It's a really great way to start off your personal new year. So again, all Sag babies get 20% off for solar return chart reports starting Sagittarius season. And again, happy birthday. So you know the deal. As always, we start off with the astrology. So without further ado, let's get into it. So the month starts out with Scorpio season, specifically the sun being in the sign of Scorpio. And I find that people either love Scorpio season or hate it. A lot of people associate it with Halloween, with darkness, with all of that kind of stuff. And Scorpio season tends to be a very intense season, arguably the most intense season of the year. And that's because our focus and our consciousness is directed towards death, towards transformation, towards rebirth. This is the time of year where we venerate our ancestors. This is the time of year where we focus on really big changes, making changes in our life, things changing, things ending. And, sometimes people don't really necessarily take to that too well, but be that as it may, that is the essence of Scorpio season. And that's how we start out the month. Thereafter, on November 4th, we have the new moon in Scorpio. And of course, as always, new moons are all about new beginnings. It's about a fresh, clean slate. And this particular new moon is going to have us focus on creating intimacy and transformation in our lives. Like I said, Scorpio season, all about transformation. So this new moon, if you are looking to really transform something in your life, if you're looking to put an end to certain things, to bad habits, if you are trying to start something new, regenerate something in your life, this new moon is going to be the new moon where you do it. It's going to be opposite to Uranus and Taurus and square to Saturn in Aquarius. So there's going to be this element of surprise. There's going to be this element of shakeup, but there's also going to be a little bit of resistance, particularly if you're talking about regeneration, rebirthing something. Saturn, the square to Saturn is probably going to make things a little difficult, probably provide some obstacles, but it doesn't mean that your new beginning isn't going to happen. It just means that you're going to have to kind of work at it in order to get things going. But regardless, this new moon is going to be very powerful again in the sign of Scorpio on November 4th. Thereafter, on the next day, we have Mercury transiting into Scorpio on November 5th. And Mercury in Scorpio, just like I said before, how the sun in Scorpio is all about us focusing our consciousness on death, transformation, rebirth. Mercury in Scorpio sort of takes that a little bit further and has our thoughts really geared towards that. Everything about Scorpio is substantive, it's deep, it's truth-seeking, and that's where our thoughts are going to be going while Mercury is in Scorpio. It's also about like psychic abilities, it's all about telepathy, it's all about intuition, and it's also about addressing our emotions, particularly repressed emotions, and sort of making sense of them, trying to figure out what they are, processing them, all of that good stuff. Mercury in Scorpio is also about substantive communication. Scorpio is anything but superficial. Scorpio is very deep. And so with Mercury in Scorpio, how we speak to people, how we relate to other people is going to be more substantive. It won't be so much superficial sort of pleasantries and, all of that, kind of bullshit. It's really going to get deep, and we're going to be able to communicate with people on a much deeper level. All right, so that's Mercury in Scorpio. That same day, Venus is going to be moving into the sign of Capricorn. This is again November 5th. And Venus in Capricorn is very serious. Venus in Capricorn is serious love. It's commitment. Some say it has to do with soulmates and things like that. But apart from just relationships, Venus in Capricorn is also about long-term investments. It's about creating a nest egg. Capricorn is very much about status. It's about stability. And when you have Venus in this very sort of rigid sign, love is about providing. Love is about money. Love is about being taken care of in a tangible way. Okay. And, again, love gets serious. It gets practical. It gets down to earth. And Venus will be in Capricorn for about a month or so. So during that time, that would be a great time to start a financial plan, start saving. If you want to add more money to your 401k, Venus in Capricorn really allows you to do that with ease. So you'll definitely want to take advantage of that energy while it's in there. All right. Now, the next thing is the full moon lunar eclipse on November 19th. And this is sort of the star of the month. Eclipses are like full moons and new moons on steroids. And this one in particular happens to be a full moon lunar eclipse in the sign of Taurus. Okay. So this is like a full moon on steroids. It's like really the final culmination to some of your manifestations, or it's like really shining a spotlight on something that has been hidden for a while. I want you to think back, if you can, to May 2018. That is where this eclipse is sort of coming from. That's where this energy is sort of, that's how this started, right? And it's going to end with this full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus on the 19th. And it's important to understand sort of how eclipses work. And they work typically on an axis. This particular axis is Taurus and Scorpio. And this particular full moon lunar eclipse kicks off a season of eclipses along the Taurus and Scorpio axis for the next 2 years. So all of the eclipses that we're going to have over the next 2 years are going to be along the Taurus and Scorpio axis. And Taurus and Scorpio really, if I had to sum up what they represent, it's about resources. We've got Taurus on the one end, which is about personal resources. We've got Scorpio on the other end, which is about shared resources. I mean, there are different interpretations of Scorpio and Taurus, but for the most part, it's about resources. It's about tangible things. It's about having tangible things in your hand in Taurus and sort of emotional resources with Scorpio. Superficial stuff with Taurus, deep stuff with Scorpio. And that's sort of where we're going to see this play out over the next 2 years. Now, this is a partial lunar eclipse. It's not going to be a full lunar eclipse. So keep that in mind as well. This is going to, like I said, this is going to bring to light intentions that were set at the new moon in Taurus in May, thereabout 2018. So think back to 2018. What were you working on at that time? Taurus tends to be tangible. So there may have been tangible physical things you may have wanted to manifest then. You may finally see that manifestation come to fruition under this full moon lunar eclipse. And depending where this falls in your sign, this is where, this is the area of life that's going to be seriously illuminated under this eclipse. And so that is sort of how that's going to play out. Again, that's sort of the star event of the month. It's nothing to be alarmed about. It's not some catastrophic sort of event. It's just something that's going to be really in your face. Something you may have been working towards for the last 2 years. Something may come to light. That's not necessarily bad. It may be something good that may come to light. But again, that's how that eclipse is going to play out. And again, that is on November 19th. Moving right along, we get to the sun moving into Sagittarius on November 21st, and that marks the beginning of Sagittarius season. Sagittarius season, I love it because it's very larger than life. Sagittarius is bold, it's adventurous, it's huge, it takes up space, and it's unapologetic. And that's sort of how we're going to be feeling once the sun transits into Sagittarius. Sagittarius favors long-term travel, higher education. So once the sun moves into the sign of Sagittarius, you may want to, go back to school. You may want to take a trip, but your thoughts may be focused on things that are kind of big. Sagittarius is really about skipping the details and really looking at the big picture of things, particularly when it comes to things like religion, philosophy, law. So it's I always feel like during Sagittarius season, we all have these grandiose ideas and we think about things like philosophy and humankind and all of these things. Sagittarius season really stretches your mind. And that's exactly what's going to happen when the sun moves into the sign of Sagittarius, again on November 21st. And finally, the last thing that we have is Mercury moving into Sagittarius on November 24th. So Mercury started off in Scorpio, right? Well, actually it transitioned into Scorpio early in the month, and our thoughts were very deep. They were very substantive. Our communication was very deep and intense with people. Now when we move to Sagittarius, it's more bold. It's more in your face. It's more adventurous. Your thoughts are larger than life. Mercury in Sagittarius also favors foreign languages. So foreign languages may be something that comes to mind, something that you start learning about when Mercury is in Sagittarius, particularly with the sun also being there as well. It just favors different. You want to experience new things. You want to broaden your horizons via your thoughts and your communication. So you may find that when Mercury is in Sagittarius, you communicate with people who are much different than you, people who have a different perspective to add to your life. Mercury in Sagittarius can be very exciting because it's out of the norm. It sort of steps outside of the box and experiences different things that add this richness to your life. Which is a nice transition because Scorpio season, like I said, can be very intense. With Mercury in Scorpio, it's we're really thinking about our emotions. A lot of us sort of turn inward towards our repressed emotions, really diving deep into our subconscious, into our psyche. And after that, with Mercury moving into Sagittarius, now we're able to have some fun. We're able to broaden our horizons, experience adventures, experience new things. And like I said, add this richness to our lives that some of us really need. It's good to, stick with what you know, but Sagittarius season sort of has you break the mold and experience new, exciting things. So it's a very exciting time. And that's how we end the month. So this month is looking pretty good. There isn't too much turmoil, although Scorpio season in itself, being that it's so intense, things can come up, particularly repressed emotions, like I said before. But other than that, pretty chill month. The full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus is going to seriously bring things to light, depending on where Taurus is in your chart. But other than that, we're looking at a good month nonetheless. So for you, Sagittarius, you have an emphasis on your 12th house and your first house this month. So the season right before our solar return is always when the sun is in our 12th house. And during that time, we typically rest, we recharge, and we sort of gear up for our season and our personal new year. So while the sun is in Scorpio for most of the month, you guys are going to be chilling. You're going to be thinking about, the year ahead, what you're expecting. You may be thinking about the past and, thinking about your life in general, but more so than not, this is the season where you're going to want to get some sleep, where you're going to want to recharge your batteries, because come Sagittarius season, it's your time to shine. And that's when it's sort of going to be full speed ahead for you. Okay. So while the sun is in Scorpio, you have an emphasis on your 12th house. And once the sun transitions into Sagittarius, which is obviously your sign, your first house of self is going to be lit. And that's when you're going to be focusing on you. That's when you're going to want to change your appearance. That's when you're going to want to set personal goals. That's when you're going to want to, express yourself, focus on yourself, maybe start working on your body. Like all of those kind of personal things fall within the purview of the first house. And so when the sun is in Sagittarius and it's your season, that's where your focus is going to be directed. Okay. So like I said, the sun in Scorpio highlights your 12th house. Now we also have Mercury in Scorpio, and we also have Mars in Scorpio. Okay. So during Scorpio season, particularly in the first half of the month, like I said, it's going to be marked by a lot of quiet time, reflection, rest, all of that stuff. Okay. With Mercury in Scorpio, it's going to make you a bit quiet. You guys are known to be sort of out there, loud, in your face, very bold, but Mercury in Scorpio in your 12th house makes you a little bit more quiet. It's more about listening than about talking, and it's more about reflecting more so than expressing. 12th house energy is very inward. It's the house of confinement. It also is the house of self-undoing. And not that you're going to experience anything crazy, but you're more so focused on yourself. It's also the house of karma. So you may find that past actions come back to either bite you in the ass or reward you while the sun is in Scorpio. Okay. And again, it's also about reflecting on the past. With Mercury in Scorpio, it's going to be about thinking about the future, also with Mercury in Scorpio. Now with Mars also in Scorpio in your 12th house, this may affect how you sleep. Some of you may be wired all the time and may experience some insomnia. Some of you may experience erratic sleep patterns with Mars in Scorpio. But for others, by and large, Mars in Scorpio in your 12th house is going to give you a very big push, motivation, and drive to sort of get your internal affairs in order, particularly before your season starts on the 21st. Okay. Then come the 21st, when the sun moves into your first house, that'll be like, again, focuses all on you. Mercury is also going to be moving into Sagittarius on the 24th. And at that time, you're going to want to express yourself. It'll be time to sort of not be quiet anymore. Like I said, Mercury in Scorpio has you sort of quiet. I'm not going to say timid, but more listening more so than speaking. Mercury in Sagittarius is going to change all that. That's when you're going to want to express yourself. You're going to want to be loud in everybody's faces, really sort of give that full Sagittarian energy. And Mercury in Sagittarius is going to give you that push to really be yourself. Okay. We also have the new moon in Scorpio happening on the 4th. And again, that's your 12th house. You're going to want to use the energy of this new moon to sort of power down. Typically, I say when a new moon is transiting someone, when a new moon is occurring in anyone's 12th house, it's sort of like you sit things out. Rather than trying to do a whole bunch of rituals, rather than trying to, manifest this and be very proactive, you're going to feel that way because Mars is in your 12th house, but you're going to want to power down, sit this new moon out and just reflect, because you'll have plenty of time to do manifesting come your season. And next month, when the new moon is in Sagittarius next month in December, that'll be the time that you're going to want to manifest, do your rituals, do all the intentions, all that kind of stuff. Okay. So again, new moon in Scorpio, sit it out, rest, recharge. Venus in Capricorn is your second house, okay? And Venus is transiting into Capricorn on the 5th. At that time, money is going to be a serious thing for you. You're going to want to get financial plans in order, start saving. You're going to want to take your money seriously. You're going to want to think about long-term investments, acquiring assets, getting your assets and ducks in a row. Venus in Capricorn is very diligent. It's very hardworking. It's also concerned with status. So at that time, you may want to buy some luxury goods, some handbags, shoes, belts, whatever it is, some of that name brand kind of stuff that gives you that luxury feeling. You might also want to spend money on pampering yourself, particularly that this is, the beginning of your season. Well, it's about to be the beginning of your season when Venus trines into Capricorn. You're going to want to pamper yourself and spend money on pampering yourself. Some of you may want to get body work done. Venus in Capricorn may or may not be good for that, but that's just something to keep in mind. But more so than not, it's about getting your money in order and securing the bag. Relationships also, Venus in Capricorn is about serious commitment, right? And at that time, you're going to think about what you value in relationships. What criteria do you have for relationships? Maybe you're thinking about the type of person that you want to be with. Maybe you're thinking about what kind of status you want this person to have. Venus in Capricorn sort of tackles all of those issues. So keep that in mind once Venus moves into your second house on November 5th. Okay? And then the most important thing of the month is the full moon lunar eclipse in the sign of Taurus happening on the 19th. And for you, that is going down in your 6th house of work and health. So I want you to think back to May 2018. Around that time, you might have set intentions for something related to work and health. Maybe you had a health issue that you wanted to get under control. Maybe you wanted to start a new work project, change jobs. Any of those things kind of fall under the purview of the 6th house. Now that we're going to be experiencing a full moon lunar eclipse in your 6th house, all of those things that you worked on since then are going to come to a culmination. They're going to come to fruition. So you're going to see the light at the end of the tunnel when it comes to a work situation, when it comes to a health situation, when it comes to your daily activities. For some of you, something shocking or something unexpected may come to light with respect to work or health under the light of that full moon. Remember, full moon lunar eclipses are like full moons on steroids. So it's going to be intense. It's going to be larger than life, but not necessarily a bad thing. So I don't want you to think it's going to be doom and gloom. This could be something really great. You may be getting a promotion. You may finally hear that your health issue is under control, or you don't even have a health issue anymore. Stay positive, because this full moon can really bring something really great. All right. And like I said before, it's larger than life. And speaking of larger than life, your ruling planet Jupiter is going to be direct. Jupiter recently went direct last month. It's going to be direct in the sign of Aquarius, which is your 3rd house. So your ruling planet is in the 3rd house. So expect your daily activities to ramp up now that Jupiter is direct. Communication is going to be flowing. Socializing is going to be, flowing. Ideas are going to be flowing. Like, you're going to see a lot of activity, sort of like busy bee energy. And it's going to be larger than life, because that's how Jupiter rolls. And Jupiter being your ruling planet, you can expect that all month as well. All right. So hopefully that made sense to you. Hopefully you were able to understand and get a clear overview of what's going on for you this month. All right. So now that we've gotten the astrology out of the way, let's get into the tarot and see what messages Spirit has for you this month. All right, Sag. So you know the deal. We always start out with an oracle card for an overarching message and then move into the tarot for some more specific stuff. But I'm doing things a little differently this month. I'm going to be giving you 3 messages: 1 general, 1 love, and 1 career and money. So without further ado, let's get into it. Let's start with the general message for the month. So Spirit, what messages do you have for Sagittarius for November 2021? Okay, we've got 2. Interesting. All right. First card is Clean It Up. Interesting. Scorpio got this same message, and they share a birthday with you guys this month. So it's not too far off that you guys sort of get the same message, because you guys are sort of sitting in very similar energy this month. And then we've got Unfinished Symphony. Okay, so there's some cleanup that you guys have to do this month, some personal cleanup. And that makes complete sense, since for part of the month, you've got that 12th house reflection energy, and then you move into the 1st house with that self-centered sort of getting your life together energy, right? So there's certain things that you've got to clean up. I'm hearing also tie loose ends, because we have this Unfinished Symphony card here. So there's some things that You need to make way for, okay? Because there's some things that are just not done yet. And you've got to tie up some loose ends so that you can focus your energy on sort of finishing or completing whatever this unfinished symphony is. So it's about making room in your life, cleaning up. 12th house, the season before our solar return and including our solar return is always marked by reflection, right? That's when we always want to start anew. We want to do different things. We want to have a better year for ourselves. And that involves a lot of cleanup. I'm like tongue-tied today. It involves a lot of cleanup. It involves a lot of reflection. It involves a lot of internal work. Sometimes we do a complete internal overhaul and we're like, okay, this stays, this goes. This is what I want to do. I want to get my weight in order. I want to get my career going. And that's sort of that energy that you're sitting in this month. And Spirit is letting you know that's exactly what you're doing. But for some of you, there is this energy of unfinished business that you need to attend to. Okay. So keep that in mind. All right. Let's get another card here for this general message. Yeah, we've got the 8 of Pentacles, which is about getting to work. So this cleanup that you need to do, it's an active thing. Like I said, 12th house energy is all about resting and recharging. So it's not about being particularly active, like up and about doing things, but you need to be active and proactive in doing the internal work this month, particularly while the sun is still in Scorpio. So get to work, sort things out. 8 of Pentacles is also sun in Virgo. So this is very Virgo energy. And you know that Virgo likes to compartmentalize things, organize things, makes things efficient. You're going to be doing all that, but on a very internal level, even on a soul level. So you're going to want to direct your energy and your focus towards that. Let's get one more card for this. There we go. For this general message. Toil and labor. Yeah, Sag, you've got some work to do. You've got to tie up loose ends, okay, with that unfinished business card. So you've got to get to work this month, okay? And by the time your season rolls around at the end of the month, that'll be the time to take it easy. That'll be the time. Well, you're actually taking it easy during Scorpio season, right? But you're doing that internal work. I don't want to say eternal, although we are eternally working on ourselves. Am I right? But particularly while the sun is in Scorpio, do that internal work and then tie up those loose ends, eradicate what needs to be eradicated, clean shit up so that come Sagittarius season, you are shining brightly, you're nice and clean, your aura is clean, and you're like doing the damn thing, okay? So that's definitely what you're going to want to do this month. So now let's move into the love message. What's going on for Sagittarius in love this month? All right. We've got divine timing. Some of you have been waiting for a relationship to manifest. Some of you have been waiting for things to be just right. Some of you need to heed divine timing, okay? By and large, we're in control of what happens in our life, what manifests, the things that are reflected to us through people, places, and things. We're in control of that. But you also have to leave a little space for divine timing, for things to happen as they should. So for some of you that are being proactive when it comes to love, you may just want to chill out for a bit, particularly again, while the sun is in your 12th house of Scorpio. During Scorpio season, you're going to want to let divine timing do its thing. And there's no better time to do this than when the sun is in your 12th house, because that's the time when you're resting. And that it's like by default, you're allowing divine timing to work its magic. So do that when it comes to relationships this month. Okay. What specifically does Spirit have to say regarding divine timing for Sagittarius? Oh, death and rebirth. Okay. This is about either a relationship ending or a relationship beginning. With the unfinished symphony card before, tying up loose ends and letting a certain relationship go, maybe now it's time to do that. And even if it's time to let a relationship go, I'm hearing that you're not going to have to do much. Because again, that 12th house energy is about resting. So it's not about like actively calling someone and being like, yo, I don't want to be with you anymore. I feel like things may just fizzle out for you. For others, if a relationship is starting, it's sort of going to fizzle in. Regardless, there's nothing you need to actively do when it comes to a relationship. Let it go. It may be time to let it go when you won't even have to do much with it, or it may be time for one to start. And again, you won't have much to do with it. There is this element of the divine. There's this element of God, the universe, that's actually doing the work for you. You've also got Mars in Scorpio, and Mars in Scorpio think of it as like your guardian angels working on your behalf, but like on overdrive. That's exactly what's going on right now. So whatever's going on with relationships, let it, because it's the divine at work for you. Okay. Let's get another one here to close out this relationship message. Concern. I see some of you really being concerned about a relationship. You guys are really thinking about it a lot. It's something that's been weighing on your mind. I want you to take a look at this guy. Look at how he looks. He looks pained, right? He looks like whatever he's thinking about he's thinking about it very deeply. And that's sort of the energy you're going to be in, especially again with this focus on your 12th house while the sun is in Scorpio. Think about it. Like I said, that's what that 12th house energy is all about. But let the divine do its thing. The only thing I see you doing here is being concerned about it, which is just thinking about it. There's nothing that you need to do actively. Let things happen as they will, and things will work out perfectly in your favor. Remember that. All right, let's get our last message, which is career and money. So how are career and money looking for Sagittarius this month? All right, we've got the child. The child signifies something new, okay? So this signifies new money, new career, a career or job that's like in the beginning stages. For some of you, you may be spending money on children, or I'm hearing that some of you are childlike when it comes to your career, meaning that you're doing something that you really love. You're doing something that brings you joy. It feels like play to you. It doesn't necessarily feel like work. But regardless, by and large, the majority of you are experiencing a new cycle when it comes to your career or money at this time. So let's get some tarot cards, a tarot card to further develop this career message. Okay, we've got two cards that came out. We've got the Six of Cups and we've got the Three of Swords. Okay, so something from a while back sort of broke your heart. Something was very painful with respect to money or a career. You may have lost a job that you had for a long time, or a creative project that you'd been working on for a long time didn't take off the way that you wanted it to. But I sense that now things are turning a corner. Things are moving in a new direction from this heartache that you've possibly been feeling for a while with respect to career and money. So things are turning a corner in a good way. Let's get one last card here to close out this reading. Career and money for Sag for November. How's it looking? There we go. All right. Ooh, we've got Lovers. In the career and money sense, this is like a new job. This is like a commitment that you're tied to, that you love. Like I said, you're turning a corner when it comes to career and money, right? In the past, things may have been unfortunate. Things may have been hard. Things may have been breaking your heart. No longer. Now, starting this month, things are going to turn a corner and you're at the very beginning stages. So some of you may be getting a new job. Some of you may be getting a job that you actually love. Some of you may be following your heart and doing what it is that you love. And you're starting to see that come to fruition. You're starting to see yourself making money with it. Like I said, things are turning a corner in a great way. All right. So to recap, Sag, this month, a lot of quiet time, a lot of reflection, cleaning up, getting to work on that internal stuff, closing out loose ends, allowing divine timing to work in your relationships. Whether divine is taking someone out or bringing someone in, there's nothing that you have to do. Just make sure that you're doing the internal work and spirit will take care of the rest. And when it comes to career and money, things are looking up. Things in the past may have been heartbreaking, may have been difficult, but now they're turning a corner and you're going to see some positive activity when it comes to your career and money. The month is looking good for you, particularly because you end the month on a high note with your season. All right. So Keep the faith, do that internal work, and you're going to see things change for the better. All right, Sag, that has been your Astro Forecast and Horoscope for the month of November 2021. I sincerely hope and affirm that you were able to get at least one important message from this reading. Speaking of readings, if you'd like to book a personal reading with me or order an astrology report, those links are in the description box below, so check those out. And while you're checking things out in the description box, don't forget to check out my website and sign up for my newsletter. All of this great stuff that you're seeing in this video, I actually give out to my newsletter subscribers on a weekly or almost daily basis. So sign up there because I also have discounts, I've got freebies, I've got horoscopes, I've got loads of great stuff in the newsletter. All right, so sign up for that. That link is in the description box below. My loves, everything I do is a labor of love and comes straight from the bottom of my heart. If you feel so inclined and would like to tip me by buying me a coffee, and tips are always greatly appreciated, I'll leave that link in the description box as well. Sag, rest up because your season is coming up. It's going to be your time to shine, all right? So happy birthday, happy Sagittarius season. I hope that this season is everything that your heart truly desires. Thank you so much for watching my video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.